Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to walk you through some often overlooked maintenance checks that can make a big difference in keeping your Airstream in tip-top shape. I'm going to talk about cleaning behind the rock guards, inspecting bolts and rivets all throughout the thing, tightening and checking shock nuts, and a few other things that I do during my monthly inspections, from washing and how I wash and all that kind of thing. I'm going to follow up on the Master Applied Coatings and talk about some of the tools I use to keep the rig clean. I'm going to finalize the video with some Centramatic wheel balancers on the truck. Some of these things can be easy to miss and easy to overlook, and hopefully this video will help save you in some major costs and repairs down the road. Hey, just a friendly reminder to open up your rock guards and check behind them and clean behind them on occasion. And I'm going to show you something else you might want to do. But you need to inspect back here and make sure these are still good, not pulling out. Clean back here, make sure you don't have any cracks and you don't have any rivets missing up here. I'm not saying do it every time you wash, but it should be every few times at least. Particularly if you've driven through rain and snow and things like that, you get corrosion and crud back here. And something I really want to point out, can you see this right here? So that is this thing right here is digging into that. So not much I can do about it. I'm not that concerned about it. The belt trim's covered up, but still inspect and look and make sure everything is still holding on. All good. And if you don't recall, I moved this bracket over that way. You can see where the old holes used to be. Same with this one and this one, because it came from the factory a little too tight. One other thing, these little acorn nuts that hold this on here are good, and I've rarely had a problem, but one time I did have one come off and my rock guard was flapping in the wind. It was the top corner one came off, so now I have a few extra of them. And when I put them on, I put some Loctite blue on there so they don't back off as easy. Hope this helps somebody out. And if you need blue Loctite or you need those little acorn nuts, there'll be a link down below in the video description. Check these screws all the way down your panel. And if you don't know what these little things are back here, that's the back of a rivet. It's the back of a standard pop rivet. That's what pokes holes in this belt trim and rubs it right there. Most of this damage came from when it was too tight before I adjusted these. Now it's not that bad. All right, when reinstalling the rock guards, I have the blue Loctite. I drip with just a little bit on that thread, put the acorn nut on. Then I do the bottom one, blue Loctite, acorn nut, and then the top corner one. And then I tighten them all down and go about my day. Hey friends, one other thing about the rock guard hardware, and for that matter, most hardware on the Airstream, is something you can typically buy at a standard hardware store off the shelf. Not everything, not all bolts are created equal. Some things you need more strength in the bolt and things like that, particularly on the axles, but many stuff like rock guards and inside and things like that are just typical hardware you can find at the store. It's not Airstream specific. So if you ever tighten down your little acorn nuts and that just keeps spinning but will not get tight, that means that the bolt that's holding it on there is loose. So undo the rock guard again, the bolt in the back, and then there's a locking washer or a locking nut on top of that. So those things need to be tight. So typically you can just stick a screwdriver down in the hole and then tighten up the nut and then put the rock guard on and then put the acorn nut on top of that. Similarly, if the end of that bolt is stripped off, meaning you've tightened it too tight at times and stripped off the threads, you can go to Lowe's, Home Depot, or pick a hardware store and find that same bolt pattern and same bolt there. So, or measure it, order it on Amazon, whatever you want to do. Just so many people get wrapped around the axle, like what I need specifically for my Airstream. Again, much of this stuff is just stuff you can find at a hardware store. So if the bolt is loose and it rattles, it can cause just enough vibration to crack that whole front corner panel on any three of those mounts. So please make sure that your bolts are tight and don't vibrate. One more thing I've talked about hundreds of times, but I'll continue to beat it up because I still find them. Right here between your two wheels, if you have a dual axle, there's a shock and a shock nut, and a little nut holding that shock on. On the other side of that shock, there's also a nut. So that back nut towards the inside of the trailer, and this nut is right here on the outside. Same thing for this front wheel. You have one up there too. I find this nut, this little nut, missing on the right side of the trailer, so the curb side, back rear wheel, top nut. I find it missing all the time. I got some dirty hands. I've been out here doing some volunteer work, helping move these scales around, but I've been out here for 1 hour, and I have found 3 shock bolts. And you can buy these. I just got a bag of them from China, from Amazon. They work just as well. They're the same thing. You can buy them at most hardware stores or Amazon, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Napa. You can buy them in places like that too, because they're pretty standard. If you find one missing, it's not a detriment. Like the shock's probably not going to fall off, but I would replace it and just check it. Like when you're cleaning the rig, it's just one of the things I do. One of the reasons I like to wash my trailer every other week or so is because I get to inspect it. So I look at all the rivets as I wash it. I check the lug nuts and the torque and the shock nuts and just crevices and cracks and things like that. I climb up underneath it and get the bottom of it clean too. So I do all that. You know, most of you know already that I overboard my maintenance, but I'm using this trailer far more than its intended use is, and I get to inspect it. So once a month, at the beginning of the month, I do all of my checks. I check every system, water heater, furnace, heat pump, air condition, awnings in and out, open and close every cabinet door, every drawer, check all the screws in every cabinet door, drawer. I torque my lug nuts again. I lubricate my stabilizers. I lubricate my awning. And many of you are doing that wrong too. I've silicone spray for the parts that come in and out, like the shocks up here and the bars that go in and out. But if you have an automatic awning and you push the button and things happen, on the back of that big arm, there's a little bitty hole in the back, and lithium grease, white lithium grease, goes in that hole. Everything else is silicone spray. I lubricate my step, my door latch, all the seals, all the window seals, the rear hatch seals, the rubber grommets that hold your front rock guard window closed, and the front propane tank cover closed. I check these shock nuts. Hey, just quickly on the lubrication of stuff. I get asked quite a bit, what do I use? I use WD-40 silicone spray for many things, and I use T9 Bow Shield for many things. And my breakdown of those two things are like this. The awning, as discussed or will be discussed, I use silicone spray on the extending arms, and I use white lithium grease in the big powered awning arm, if you have that. That's for that big screw. On my stabilizer jacks, on my steps out here, the fold-out steps, the hinges on all the fold-out steps, my door hinges on the main door here and the rear hatch hinges, the locking mechanism of the door here, any kind of stainless or chrome fasteners and things like that, I like to use T9. Basically, silicone spray, Zip-D awning, and T9 Bow Shield on all other hinges and locking mechanism, things like that. That's really what I like to use. I have used silicone spray on everything, and it works fine. The main thing is those two lubricants, silicone spray and T9, they do not attract dirt, because as you drive down the highway and kick up dirt and dust and things like that, you don't want that stuff sticking and gumming up your locking mechanisms or your gears or your hinges or whatever else. And your stabilizer jacks, whether they're powered or whether they're manual, they all have that big screw that, that's what turns and that's what moves the jack up and down, or the scissor jack up and down. So make sure you lubricate that, and not only the big screw but also the parts that kind of hinge together, all the moving parts there. So keep your rig lubricated. That's all I'm asking. And then while I'm washing the trailer every couple weeks or so, I look at all the rivets, and it's just an inspection to make sure all of my things are good. I climb on the roof pretty regularly, but I can do that. If you can't, get you a ladder tall enough to where you can at least look over on the side. Make sure your solar panels aren't cracked. I found one of mine cracked about a year ago. Open up your front rock guard windows. Open up your front rock guards. Open up your water heater door. Look inside cabinets and things like that. Like there's cabinets in your rig, like underneath your closet, your hall closet, there's a little door down there that opens up underneath that. Have you ever looked in there where your water pump is? Most likely, and that may not be in every model, but just take care of your things, man. It'll they last so much longer. And you're intimately familiar with your stuff, and you're more familiar with the trailer. Hey, everybody, I've been washing the rig this morning, and I really want to follow up on the ceramic coating. So I have these microfiber drying cloths here. I go around with my little mini tornado wind blower thing I got, and I blow all the particular belt trim out because a lot of water sticks in here. Then I go behind with a microfiber cloth and wipe it off. And I can tell when the rig is clean because it just feels again like it did when I got the ceramic coat done, just smooth as glass. I can just tell where the little rust spots are. And if I get in the right light, I can see that there's still some dirty spots on that. But I pressure washed it off with Adam's Megaphone here. No affiliation whatsoever with them, but I use that in a spray foam can, and I foam the trailer. I go behind and pressure wash it off, and then dry it with these Chemical Guys microfiber drying cloths. So really cool drying cloths, and these are all things Briston and the team at Master Applied Coatings recommended to me. But I've been enjoying the products. I enjoy getting the rig all shined up again, but love the stuff. The wind blower, the brush I use, the 1-2 bucket method, all the things that they recommended. And I'll have links for everything down below, and the videos I've done for my follow-up to Master Applied Coatings and all that stuff will be linked down below as well. But still happy with it. It's been more than a year now, and we've driven around basically the Midwest and East Coast a couple times. Put a lot of miles on it since then. We've had snow, sleet, rain, heavy rain, dust. Couldn't wash it for 2 months. Just myriad of things go on, but I've been very, very happy with the ceramic coating. So thank you again to the whole team there. And if you are interested, you can sign up now at 3 locations. Sacramento. It's not Tallahassee anymore. It's right next to the town, and I can't think of the name of it. And in Argyle, Texas, so the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Now you can get it down there. That's where I have my truck done. Same with the truck. Still very happy with the truck, the way it looks and the way it shines and cleans up super easy. Today, I'm putting on some Centramatic wheel balancers on the truck. If you recall back some time ago, I did this on the Airstream. I did it on the last Airstream. Also did it on the last truck. I meant to do it on this one before now, but time has got away from me, and they've been sitting in my to-do list for quite some time now. So I'm over here borrowing a friend's jack the truck up, and I'm going to put these things on. Pretty easy process, and they work great. If you are unfamiliar with what Centramatic wheel balancers do, there's a great video on their website, and I'll overlay it right here. But they show a small wheel they put a magnet on it to make the wheel in balance, and then they put a mock-up of what the Centramatic thing does, and it shows the I call it buckshot, but little beads goes to the opposite side of the imbalance. Then they remove the imbalance, and it shows them all spreading out. So it balances the wheel, the hub, all the assembly on the vehicle or trailer. I'll have a link to Amazon down below, so if you want to put them on your trailer, for example, your Airstream, the typical Airstream axle, Dexter axle, is a 6 by 5.5 inch diameter bolt pattern. So that's the one you need, and it's a 220-223 is the Centramatic you need for your Airstream. And then for a Ford Super Duty truck, at least the one I have now, it's a 300-318 size that goes on there. But Amazon, you can select from drop-down menus what you need, and in their website you can help get it narrowed down as well. So should you need one of those. And just so you're aware, it comes with 2 different styles. So this one is more like all one-sided here, and this other one has a little plates, a little spacer, so it rides a little differently. And you need to start with your drive or your front axle first, your front, because there's a spacer here you might need to use. Basically, you got to figure out which one work on the front and make sure the spacing is right. It's not rubbing anything, particularly the brake calipers and such. So start with the front ones, and then when you get both front ones done, then you can come to the back and do those. So I believe these would be the ones for the front, and these would be the ones for the back. We'll see. All right, now that it's on, I give the wheel a spin just to make sure it's not rubbing anything. And you can hear a little bit of a hiss. That's the wheel balancers inside here moving around. Main point is it's not rubbing anything. It's not particularly brake caliper, none of those other things. So I did not need to use this spacer. I'll go to the other side on the front and swap it out after I torque this wheel. All right, so that went pretty well. All done, and I'm packing up my tools, and now I gotta go to Costco. You were such a good help. Thanks for your help. You were so good. One more thing, make sure you torque your wheels and check the torque on your wheels. So I'm gonna drive about 10 or 15 miles, I'll check it again, then I'll drive another 15 or 20 miles, check it again. And I think 3 times is good, but always keep a check on the torque on the wheels anytime you do something. I think I drove my last truck 80,000 miles or so with the Centramatic wheel balancers on, and never had an issue. And I put a bunch of miles on my trailer with them on. My current trailer has 27,000 miles, maybe 28,000 miles on it with the Centramatic wheel balancers on there. And they've been great. It's I think it reduces the fatigue and stress of the trailer. And my new truck has had them on there since I put them on in April. So I've driven 5,000 or 6,000 miles with them on the new truck. So it does make a difference, and I can really feel it in the new truck specifically when I put them on. Driving some of the same highways prior to having them on and driving the same highways after having them on, I feel a little bit less vibrations in the truck. I think it helps with tire wear. I think it helps with the vibrations all across the board. So anything to protect these investments. All right, that's it for this particular maintenance walkthrough video. Remember, taking a little time to clean, inspect, and tighten things now keeps your Airstream road ready for the long haul. You can find links below to every tool and all the products I use, along with the videos that I dive deeper into these related topics. As always, if you have any questions about this video and anything in it or anything else we've done, please feel free to reach out to us via the Contact Us link on our website. We love you all and can't wait to see you on the road. Thanks for making us a part of your adventure and, most importantly, giving us your time. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye.